And then up into the kingdom, the Lord's going to have it to where many women are going to cleave to one man as a way to humble the women, and as a way of showing that the Most High is going to start to be as a sign that things are going to start being right side up again.
Good morning. People like to blame women for the downfall of our culture in America and in the West, and say, you know, women are overbearing and they're nags and they're making all the wrong decisions, and we should have never allowed women to vote because they ruined it. And maybe that's true, but if men were the leaders that they were supposed to be, if they led the household, if they led society the way they were supposed to be, we wouldn't be in the situation where women had all of this control socially and men were weakened by that control. If you weren't a weak man, then you would be able to stand your ground against an overly emotional, nagging woman on a sidewalk with a sign. Stop allowing women to just make all of the decisions culturally, socially, because do you see where it's gotten us when men step away from the leadership role? Do you see what happens when men decide to bow down to the emotionally overcharged woman experience? If men were the leaders they were supposed to be, feminism wouldn't have taken root the way that it did. You can't put all the blame on women when you are the leader of the house, the leader of the country, the leader of the world.
Okay.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHWASHI, BAHASHEM, RICANS. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to the mighty YAHAWAH, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this battle captivity, as well as a speckled bird that may look like the other nations but are actually Yasharallah. This is Brother Kawak coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson is going to be on this video that we just saw. And this is, when I first heard this, I thought, okay, so yeah, she's making a lot of good points. But then there was something else that I had noticed, because really she didn't say this specifically, but I'm not sure if she even acknowledges this, but when she talks about all this, when she says this, she's not talking to the so-called black man or anything like that. She's specifically talking to the so-called white man. And again, like, she says men, but she doesn't she doesn't say white men, black men, or anything like that. She says specifically men, as if men are the entirety as a collective, when the reality is that it's just so-called white men, and it's the so-called white men that made things to be this way. She even specified, and the reason why I say this is because she even specified at the beginning, oh, it was all these people in the West, this and the third and stuff like that. She specifically said the West, and as a result of that, who is the one that is in charge of the West? Who's the one that dictates and creates the morality, the hierarchy in the West? And of course it is Esau Edom, so it's the so-called white man. So as a result of that, she is not talking to the so-called black man. She's talking to the so-called white man specifically. And I find it funny, genuinely funny, that, you know, again, I don't even think that she actually acknowledges that she's specifically targeting and specifically talking to the so-called white man when she's saying this stuff and making these complaints about, oh, this is this person's fault, this is this X, Y, and Z, or whatever, rather than just saying that, oh, the black man this, the so-called white man that, or whatever. All right, it is all back into everything that she's saying is all hyper focused on the so-called white man, because he said that. Slakia, I repeat myself, but this is just a reality. All right, And the reason why this is so important is because it goes to show when the wicked, let me actually get this, Proverbs 29 verse 2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So when the evil, when the wicked is in power, when they have the authority to do whatever they want, when they have the authority to do X, Y, and Z, then they go and do and abuse their power. They go and, you know, show, I was able to do this, so I push this in the forefront. I perpetuated wickedness. I perpetuated the wrong way to live. I perpetuated corruption to the point where I perpetuated corruption so that things would happen this way, so that this would happen. All right. So now you have, you know, even the women who are kind of in power, quote unquote. I use quote unquote because it's not full, but they are kind of in power to say that, you know, I did not want this. I realize that these things are only bad because of what Esau did. All right. So where is it? Where was I at? Oh yeah. So 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 11. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verse 12. Slakia. But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence. But because of how Esau set this system up, because how Esau set the society up, it's the complete opposite of that. We see that he is pushing women's authority, and that is intentional. Okay, because it has destroyed so-called black families, and now it's all the problems that Esau has made. It first targeted us, but then it is moving on to him as well. Let me actually get that. Deuteronomy chapter 30 verse 7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So all the horror, the bad that we had to deal with, the Lord is making sure that Esau is also facing them too. And that's what's going on right now. All right. Next, Ecclesiastes chapter 10 verse 7, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth. So that was the thing where the hierarchy, everything is reversed. All right, everything's not in its right order. Okay, you got the tail at the head and the head at the tail. All right. And so yeah, but yeah, like the people that are supposed to be leading, they're the followers, and the people that are supposed to be the followers are the leaders. And this is how Esau structured his this kingdom. Okay, because and that's just how things are. Because women have a lot of power in terms of just like, you know, getting men to do whatever they want. All right, a lot of simps just not caring about logic and just say, oh, I need to be a feminist, or I'm a male feminist and all that shit. Like, yeah. Romans chapter 1 verse 25, who changed the truth of YAHAWAH into a lie and worship and serve the creature more than the creator, who is blessed forever. Amen. And that's the thing, where rather than serving YAHAWASHI, all right, rather than serving YAHAWASHI, they decide to serve the creation. Okay, because the hierarchy is Yahweh, then Yahawashi, then the man, then the woman, and yet it's everything has been completely flipped, especially with how people's mindsets are. They think, oh, the woman is at the top, then the man, then God, just in general, the concept of God, not necessarily Yahawashi then God, but it's the concept of man, because, or the concept of a God, because what happens is that they speak, whenever they speak, especially atheists, it's all about, oh, God should have been doing this, or God should be serving me, God should be doing this, that, and third, or if this was a loving God, X, Y, and Z. Like, that's how the people speak. Like, there's no acknowledgement of the hierarchy. It's, oh, the man's supposed to do all this for the woman, and the God is supposed to do all this for the man, and not the other way around. They never want to acknowledge that. So yeah, that was basically it. I pray this lesson was edifying, and Yahawadah, it's sooner rather than later that things are put in its rightful order. I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great Son of God, Shalom.